All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Steam for Tuesday, August 30th, with my co-host, Mindy Hahn. I'm Ramon Scott. Thank you for joining us for our second show. I think we'll be better. Look, we already got these cool graphics, Mindy.
Exactly. Right.
I think we've already stepped up
Upgrade.
our game a little bit, thanks to Tony and the crew for hooking us up with some graphics, and we'll show some other graphics too with our games and picks like that. But Mindy, how's it going today?
Pretty well. It's a nice, shiny, sunny morning here in the Midwest. So it got down to like 60 overnight, but we're still headed for the 90s again here today. I know it. I feel like I do old things when I talk about the weather, right? Because that's what my dad used to do.
Yeah, well, I think that's one of Tony's favorite subjects, but that's because he's out here in Southern California, and like you said, it never rains. But apparently, there's lighting delays and stuff like that. We'll get into that a little bit.
Yeah, that's why I said it was kind of funny because I was like, oh, I bet it's raining there when I saw it was delayed, and then I'm like, oh wait, it doesn't rain there.
There can be some off weather by chance. So, anyways, welcome to the Morning Steam with Mindy. I'm Ramon, and we're gonna take a look at the baseball card today, and we're also going to try to take it all the way into the college football card Thursday and Friday. We're going to try to give one of us a pick on each game, maybe two picks. Yeah, two picks on each game in baseball and college football. So get your pens, pencils, and scorecards ready for lots of action from Mindy and I. We'll probably go without the videos that we had yesterday because, man, we filled up over an hour, and we're trying to keep it within an hour. If I keep talking, we're going to go over our quota again, Mindy. But let's take a look at our website, Tony'sPicks.com, where you can check out our handicapper leaderboards here. And, Collins with a nice day yesterday at 3-0. Also, Sam, 3-0. Tony, Mindy. Tony hit his pick. I know what that means, Mindy. What happened there?
It means that Tony and I were opposites on that play because I had the Giants in there as my best bet of the day, and Tony was opposite, and Tony won again. Damn him.
Well, I thought the Padres were going to give it up there, Mindy. Look, the Padres, they seem to hit on the road. Their splits say they hit on the road and they don't hit well at home. And their bullpen has been pretty solid, except they have a shaky closer situation.
Well, but it was also, starting pitching, giving up 5 earned runs. I mean, that's a little sketchy there also,
Yeah, definitely. And today's pitching matchup in that game is going to be quite interesting. We got a little bit of a ways to go before we get to that one. But let's take a look at what our buddy Collins did and how he went 3-0 yesterday. We'll pump him up a little bit. You can subscribe to his packages here. He's got a it says two-turn Tuesday for MLB premiums and an MLB best bet for Collins today. Let's take a look at his 3-0 day, though, shall we? He had the Padres too, Mindy. We shouldn't have looked at that. And look, Collins, a little bit of a winning streak here. 3-0 yesterday, and then the day before, some winners as well, 2-2. So yesterday, the Padres, he had the Cards and the Reds over, and also the Cubs and the Blue Jays under. So nice day for Collins there. We talked about Sam going 3-0 as well. And the GM came in with 3 picks. And Mindy, that was your only loss on the day.
Yeah.
What else did you have? Let's take a look at your packages first.
Yeah.
For Tuesday, you got the best bet. You got a best bet up there, and you can tell us if you're going to come in with a little more action.
I will after the show here. I'll put a couple more on. I'm doing some first fives. And we don't have spreads on those overnight, so I have to wait till next day in order to put them in. So that's why you're not seeing anything from me via 3-pack here yet.
But yesterday you had the Twins over the Red Sox and the Cubs on the run line. They played tough again against the Blue Jays. The one thing about the Cubs, they are definitely out of the race, but they are showing some heart of late. Ross.
I mean, it came down to, that bang play there right at the end, and, it's too bad the Cubs kind of gave that one up. I mean, they had it, it it looks like they were going to easily win that one, and then gave up those 5 unanswered. So I kind of like the Cubs, to win that one outright especially with that, was it plus like 190 money, money line odds. But again, I always do, to give myself the biggest chance to win. And again, when you're only giving up like, what was it there? I can't read my own stuff, but like, a minus 103 or a minus 113, whatever it was, I'll take those odds, right? It's basically a straight up bet. Plus, I have 2 chances of winning.
And let's go to the homepage. Tony would be upset with us if we didn't show a little bit of the new design.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is a final, but a little bit of a redesign. You got the 3 decks across here, including, of course, our premium picks section. You can grab the best bets. You see the best bets there. Tiffany's got a best bet today. Major League Baseball. Paul's got an MLS bet coming up, and then there's Mindy's best bet as well. And by the way, I've got a 3-pack up right now. I'll also talk about that. Maybe I can go to the All Cappers tab and get signed up. Use the promo code TonyT at checkout to save 20% off all of our premium pick packages. Oh, man, I got to scroll. You know what that means, Mindy, when I got to scroll down here to the bottom to find me. Ramon,
a little rough weekend.
Yeah, not too great the last couple days, but still the top units producer here on the site. What I have tonight, Mindy, is a 3-pack of plays for the Dana White Contender Series.
Oh, nice.
3 plays. If you watch MMA, maybe you only watch the weekend cards, folks, but on Tuesday nights they have some young up-and-comers that battle, and what they do is they fight, and the winner, can often get a contract to be in the UFC. The last 2 weeks, all 5 winners have gotten contracts. It's kind of a neat little show. Not all the winners get contracts. If you go out there and you're a big $3 favorite and you win a split decision, you're probably not going to get a contract from Dana White. That's where I look at it. But right there, Mindy, you see it. I'm up 971 this year in units, and 9-2-1 in my last 12 MMA picks, all documented right here on the site. So grab a 3-pack with me for just $30 tonight, and let's cash in the Dana White Contender Series. Okay, Mindy, if you want to get rolling, we can start talking about the major leagues. We've already killed about 10 minutes or so. But got a nice card tonight. And Mindy said hi to everyone. She's right there. Let's send out the challenge, Mindy, to get everyone to
participate. Right? We love to see your comments. So, let us know what you're thinking, or about yesterday's games, or bad beats, or, whatever you feel like talking about. And, also you can give us topics and things like that, right?
Yeah, that's right. And there's Mindy and Tiffany, and they have their own channel as well. So, again, just appreciate Tony letting us have this opportunity. So we can get rolling on the Major League card. If you'd like, we're back to a full card. So it's really just going to be rapid-fire picks. We're going to give you a ton of picks here, folks. And I thought we did pretty well yesterday, Mindy, especially we both agreed.
Right.
And it didn't look good for the Arizona Diamondbacks as a big underdog, but
that was crazy.
They got into that Phillies bullpen, and the Phillies ended up blowing that big lead. And they're not in any position to be blowing leads at this point, but we both had that big dog, Arizona, so nice play there.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I don't have most of my information I did here was last night. I can kind of run through with hopefully updated lines here for you.
I can roll with the introductions if you want on the baseball if you'd like.
I got them here. I got them. All right. So we got Baltimore versus Cleveland here. Baltimore plus 120, Cleveland minus 145. Total is 8.5 on this one. I have this one as an under game. But I'm going to go a premium on the side, so I'm going to pass and see what Ramon has. You can catch my my picks out there over at Tony's website, like we had just talked about on this one.
Well, I think we're going to end up on our first game in a disagreement. I mean, and I bet you're surprised about that because I'm actually going to lean to the when I'm playing my totals and I'm I hate run. I hate scoring. All right, I hate runs. That's what everybody said. Ramon is always on the under, but with this one, I think I'm going to lean over. I mean, there's a lot of trends that do favor the under here, and Quantrill's been pretty hot. But I think at the juiced up 8 here, I'm going to look to go over with Baltimore and Cleveland. Both teams are kind of trending to the under, but I will mention that Cal Quantrill, for all of his success this year, he's been pretty good, 10-5 record, and the the Guardians 15-9 with him as a starter. But in his 23 starts this year, the Guardians have gone 15-8 to the over. So I'm going to look at this one to go over. That Cleveland bullpen has been pretty strong of late, but I'm going to look to go over in this one with Baltimore and Cleveland on Tuesday night.
All right.
And you said you got a premium. Okay. I already saw that also. Tony had a premium loaded up as well. So we'll see what happens with your premium. We'll talk about it tomorrow.
Exactly. All right. So next up, we got the Cardinals here versus Reds. Cardinals minus 200. Reds plus 170. Total here sits at 10. So for me, I have this as a Cardinals victory at the minus 200. That would be my best play on that. But for me, those odds are too high. So I would just take a pass here on this game today. What you got, Ramon?
I'm going to look to go over in this one again, Mindy, believe it or not.
Yeah, we had score yesterday.
This was going to be a premium for me, but I couldn't quite get a 9.5. So I ended up saying I'll use it on the show. I think I'm going to go over in this one. 6 of the last 8 meetings have gone over. Both starters have been pretty shaky, of course. Dunn has a ERA of 5 this year in his just 4 starts, but also Dakota Hudson, 4.23 ERA and a 1.39 WHIP. So I think I'm going to look to go over with St. Louis and Cincinnati in this one. I will mention that Tony T has a premium in this one as well. So go ahead and make sure you get Tony's package. He's a top units producer in baseball. I'm not going to make fun of him always saying that today because he definitely is. And I'm slipping. So I'm trying to motivate myself a little bit. I was on his tail and kind of stopped. Like after
I think you're still what, 5 games back or so?
Yeah,
so
maybe a little more.
run.
So I'm gonna hope he's focusing on his football a little bit. I want him to do well. I want all of us to do well. So over is going to be the play for me, Mindy, in St. Louis and Cincy.
All right. So next up, Rays versus Marlins. Tampa Bay minus 200 here. Miami plus 165. Total over-under on this one is 6.5. So for me, again, I have my modeling comes out with the Rays at the minus 200. Again, that's too big of a play for me. So I would pass again here on this game today.
I'm really torn on this one because I really think that first of all, that line, I see 200, I see some 205s. Let me take a look at some of these odds. Look at that, man. Now it looks like the moves on Miami. I'm showing a major offshore book now all the way down to 180. I mean, this thing opened at some places as high as 235. When I wrote down here, I really was leaning towards Miami on the run line, Mindy.
Yeah, I have them on the run line, but when I do my modeling, I also do a predicted score, right? So if I don't have that predicted score within that, I do 2 separate scenarios, right? I take a look at that run line, I take a look at first 5, I take a look at that, just on the money line. And so I have, my modeling comes out with Miami at the 1.5. But if I look at my actual scoring model, I don't have them quite getting that play. So that's why I passed on that one. So, but I understand where you're coming from there.
So no selection though, actually, for you on this one. Is that correct?
Exactly. So, because when I don't have my models, match, and I don't have a predicted score that would, make sure that back up my picks, basically.
Yeah. If the viewers don't mind, if you will, I mean, like I said, I mean, Miami on the run line was going to be the play for me.
Right.
Yesterday was interesting. We talked about that Dodger game, and I said, everybody, I think our whole crew was like, Dodger run line, Dodger run line. I was like, not so fast. I like the Dodgers, but I only like them to win.
Right.
And they end up winning by just one run in a pretty good ball game, actually. But
Oh, yeah.
if the viewers don't mind, I'm going to end up laying the chalk now. I'm actually going to switch from what I wrote down because on this line move, look,
Yeah.
open 240 I thought was a fair price, and that's what I based it on before I went to bed, right? Before I woke up to do the show, I was looking at a 240. And now, and even when I typed it in about 2 hours ago or 90 minutes ago at $2, now I'm seeing some wide, 185s and 190s. That to me is a 50-cent savings on Tampa Bay. When I talked yesterday about what I think the term value means, meaning just a sale price, not because I think that they're the better team and what I think should be the price. So I'm going to switch this one, Mindy, and at $1.85, I would say maybe even $1.90. Get it now. If it goes back up, maybe there's some public sentiment from Miami playing a little better. I mean, we know their offense has been absolutely crummy, but I think now it's sub $2. No run line for me. I'm going to lay $2. It's a free pick. I'm going with the Tampa Bay Rays and McClanahan.
Right. So next up here, we got the A's and Nats. A's are minus 105. Washington minus 115. Over under here is 8. So in this one, it was kind of like how, we talked about the Diamondbacks yesterday. My modeling here has the Nationals all the way across the board. So I got the Nationals on the money line, on the plus 1.5 run line, and then also winning the first 5 here. But for me, I would take, my best odds, and I'm going to take the Nationals here on the money line at minus 115.
Yeah, well, I guess it's Eric Fetty Day, huh? He's back, so and they're just looks like just the slightest of favorites. Is that right? Yeah, I'm actually showing it kind of moving towards a pick'em a little bit.
Yeah.
It might be a pick'em at some spots. So again, not a great matchup. Obviously, two pretty crummy teams. Maybe Irvin's been a little bit better pitcher, but. For me, Mindy, I think Oakland, they've gone over in 5 of their last 8, and I'm gonna probably I'm gonna go over in this one. Irvin, he's been good this year, but last 3 starts, 4.74 the ERA, and they have allowed 6 runs on average in those last 3 starts. And Betty, a 4.88 ERA this season. Cole Irvin has been a strong under pitcher, but wow, I'm giving out another. Do I have 3 overs so far? I think.
I know what's happening.
Maybe that's why I'm in a funk. Maybe something's going on. But I'm going to go over the 8. Over the 8. That's what it was. I graded this game out at 8.5. So at 8 over 20, that's good enough for me. Give me the over Oakland and Washington.
Yeah, and so I have a visitor that showed up. And sorry about my microphone. He had to have unplugged it yesterday. So next up, we got Cubs versus Blue Jays. I have Chicago here at plus 180. Looks very similar to yesterday. Toronto minus 225 in this one. So here, my modeling here has the Blue Jays today at the minus 225. But again, that's too big for me to play. So I would take a pass. But it's one of those, say with these really high, big money lines, sometimes maybe it's worth it if you have those picks, put in maybe in some sort of money line parlay. Those are not like my favorite things to do, but just maybe giving you an option when you have, all of these, big plays, instead of, betting these outright, maybe put them in a parlay, see what you could come up with. But again, parlays are not my deal, but just giving you a little bit of options here when you have, say, a minus 225 play out there.
All right, and for me, I think in this one with Stroman and Gosman, Stroman, he's been, people want to, kind of downplay his, maybe he's seen better days, if you will, but pretty decent over the last three starts, 3.63, the ERA, and Gosman, 3.15 ERA this season. He's been pretty good. A little bit shakier of late, but for me, I'm going to go under this number of 8 under 20. 8 under 20, even if it's 8 under 25, as it says there on screen. You called it out at 220. I am seeing a lot of 220s out there. I am also seeing some 205s and 210s, so maybe it's moving a little bit towards the Cubs off that decent performance yesterday here against Toronto. But for me, I watched Tony's video last night too, and he went with the under. So I'm going to go under, under 8,
Right.
and I'll just blame Tony if I don't win this free.
That sounds like a good plan to me.
Under in the Cubs in Toronto. Mm-hmm.
All right, so next up we got Mariners, Tigers here. Mariners minus 175, Detroit Tigers plus 145. Total is 75 or 7.5 in this one. So for me, I have this one as a premium pick, but I do like the over 7.5 here in this game.
Okay, so you got a premium pick on the side, or run. I don't know, obviously, because you're giving out, but over is your play, huh?
Well, I mean, if I'm giving out a free play, yeah, my over is my free play in this one. If I'm picking, I would like for you to go ahead and my better pick here is going to be on the side.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I was thinking maybe I should switch it up because guess what? I picked the over as well, and I think I just better stick with it. Why change it just because you called for a game? I was going to say, well, Mindy picks it. I might give my other my side out or something,
right.
But it was just too much for me on the over in this one. Mindy, really going against any of my subscribers or even the viewers of I mean, you're on the show with me every time, and it's almost always under for me. I think one of the things, I don't think it's a coincidence, but as we get towards September, I'm going to probably have more overs. That's just the way I think the situation is going to evolve as we head into the final month of the season. But you have Seattle. They've gone over in 9 of their last 12 games. Kirby and Manning, they've been pretty good of late, no doubt about it. And these bullpens, pretty mediocre. Detroit, 4.5 ERA over the last 10 games, and at a 7.5 here, I think that's good enough for me. Let's go over with Kirby and Manning, Seattle and Detroit on Tuesday night.
All right, cool. So then next up, Dodgers, Mets. Dodgers here minus 135, Mets plus 110. Over under is 8.5 here in this one. So I got the Dodgers here on the money line at minus 135. But I also have this predicted score here of 3.96 for Dodgers, 2.97 for the Mets. So then that would also put me at a pretty big underplay in this one.
Yeah, that sounds almost like a premium.
Yeah, I just kind of feel like, some of my totals are not always my favorite. I think I'm getting better as I go, over the years. But I have a lot more success just betting the sides. And so, maybe here in the next couple of years, I'll feel a little bit more confident about my over-under plays.
Well, you use predictive models, but to me, it looks to me like an under as well, Mindy. I mean, look, this is a big game. There's no doubt about it. And what we see from the Dodgers, they get all these injuries. Gonsolin goes on the disabled list yesterday. Kershaw's about to come back. Gonsolin, looks like he will be able to return, and he's been, a Cy Young Award candidate the way he's been going. And the Dodgers, this is a big game. They're favored because maybe they're Dodgers. I mean, the Mets are still a good ball club, so maybe there's value there. When I talk about value on this one, I'm talking about what the public might perceive as the value. Kind of going against what I preach there a little bit, but I'm going to agree with you, Mindy. I think under is the play for me. I will mention Andrew Heaney has gone over in 7 of his last 8 starts, but Taijuan Walker has gone under in 8 of his last 13. Haney's been really got great run support as part of his 7-2. He's 2-1, but the Dodgers are 7-2 with him as a starter so far. And in the last 3 games, he's got almost 9.5 runs of support, and over his 9 starts, he's gotten almost 8 runs of support. So I think under is the call for me too. The Mets bullpen has been real strong of late. 2.37 ERA over the last 10 games. The Dodgers a 2.91 ERA. This is going to have probably a playoff type atmosphere tonight in New York. So I'm going to go under and agree with you. We should track our consensus plays maybe or something like that is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, we should. Next up, we got Rockies Braves. We got Rockies plus 290, Atlanta minus 375. It was kind of funny because we were talking about those big money lines just yesterday. Almost reaching $4 there.
Yeah.
For me, I got a premium here on this one, so I'm gonna pass over to you.
Yeah, you mentioned those big prices, and I'm already seeing a few spots. We're getting close to, when I put this in, when I made the graphics, it was about 2 hours ago. I pick offshore book that kind of mimics the lines that we're offered on our back end because it's one of the toughest lines in the world. But this line appears to be going up. I'm looking right now. This opened about $3 in some spots, and now you're looking at a couple places. It's gone as high as $380 at DraftKings. So this thing is going skyrocketing right now. One of the major offshore books has a $390 on the game. But for me, Mindy, I think it's going to be an underplay. I think with Fried pitching for Atlanta, it's going to be under for me. 7 of the last 11 meetings have gone under in this one. Max Fried, what can you say? He's been pretty tough so far this season. 2.52 ERA, 2.14 ERA in his last starts. Jose Urena, real shaky, no doubt about it, but I'm looking for Atlanta to maybe do all the scoring here. I'm not going to mess with the side or the run line necessarily. Tony gave out the run line on his free play I saw, but for me it's going to be under 8.5 at a juiced up 8.5, if 8.5 under 25. If you got 8 over, taper it back a little bit, but I like the under in this one. Under.
Look out, under alert. All right.
The Undertaker.
So next we got up here the Red Sox versus Twins again here today. So we got Red Sox here at plus 110, Minnesota minus 135. Total sitting here at 9. I think Boston has arguably one of the best names in baseball here with Cutter Crawford. But for me, I'm taking the Red Sox here in this one at the plus 110 today.
Well, you nailed this game yesterday, so I better take note of that and put a little note right here. But I do know that Tony had a free play on Minnesota in this one. I don't want to burst your bubble there a little bit. But again, you had the winner yesterday in the Boston-Minnesota game. For me, I'm going to look at the total, and it's going to be the under. With Boston, they've gone under in 6 of their last 8 as a dog. Minnesota under in 7 of their last 9 at home, and under in 11 of their last 17 overall with a couple of pushes. Look, Crawford has not been very good of late, 9.42 ERA in his last 3 starts. Archer, he's going south as well, 6.23 ERA. But look, these teams don't get a lot of run support when these guys are on the mound, and that's the way I'm going to look at it. Minnesota's been pretty good in the bullpen over the last 10 games, and Minnesota not hitting very well right now. We know Boston is probably the hottest hitting team in the league over the last couple of weeks, but Minnesota, they're batting about 215 or so over the last 10 games. So for me, I'm going to go under 9 under 25 there. It says on the screen, so maybe we're going to even see this one dipped to 8.5. So maybe get it now. Well, it opened at mostly 8.5. So maybe it's actually going up. Maybe you'll wait on that. But no matter what the case may be, I'm going to go under with Boston and Minnesota.
Yeah, I mean, make sure you take a look and get those, best lines, watch those line movements. Next up, we got Astros versus Rangers. Houston sitting at -165, Texas +140, total sitting at 7.5. I'm going to have a premium pick here on the side. But if I take a look at this one, my modeling has this one as an overplay. Ramon.
Let me catch up on the graphics here. I'm listening intently to what you're saying. I will mention Tony T has a premium this one as well. So maybe you can get Tony and Mindy together in a 2-for-1 capper promotion, and you have this game completely covered with the side and the total. With our 2-for-1 capper promotion, you get pay for one handicapper for 3 days, 7 days, 30 days. And you can get the second handicapper for 50% off. So just throwing a promotion in there because that's what they told me to do. But anyways, Mindy, I'll look for Houston and Texas with Valdez. Look, Valdez has been very, very hot. There's no doubt about it.
Fantasy pitcher, I tell you, he's doing well.
Yeah, he's been, definitely one of the better pitchers over the last couple of weeks. Got a 1.29 ERA, and Houston has 1.29 ERA in the last 3 starts, 2.65 ERA this season. He's got a 13-4 record, and Houston has gone 16-8 in his 24 starts. Meanwhile, for Dunning, they've gone 8-16. Texas has in his 24 starts. So bit of an interesting contrast, exactly opposite there. Dunning has not been that strong of late. 5.28 ERA has been quite crummy, actually. But for me, Mindy, this price, I'm just not sure. It's a free play. Look, Houston's Houston. They're still looking great. I'm going to take Texas on the run line. How about that?
Right.
I'm going to put out a run line. I rarely do that on any of our shows, but
Nice.
For me, Texas plus a 1.5 with Dane Dunning to show up somehow in this one and make a game of it. Right now, Texas, they're hitting pretty well against left-handers, 280 over the last 10 games. That's kind of what I'm basing it on. And so for me, Texas plus 1.5 against the Stros.
All right. Then we got Royals, White Sox. Royals plus 115, White Sox minus 140, over under 8 in this one. Brady Singer on the mound for Kansas City. I like the Royals here in this one at the plus 115.
Yeah, I watched Tony's video. He also likes the Royals in this one so you guys are like a dog here with Singer against Giolito. No doubt. I mean, Giolito's been not the Giolito we've been used to over the last couple of seasons, and he's currently in poor form, no doubt about it. 6.61 ERA over the last 3 starts. Meanwhile, Brady Singer, he's been absolutely terrific for the Royals of late. 1.42 ERA over the last 3 starts, and the Royals are allowing just 1.7 runs in those 3 starts. So Brady Singer pitching pretty well. I think against the Royals lineup, I expect Giolito to maybe have an okay game. It's hard to, think about him and, what he used to be, if you will. I don't know if he's on the, downside of it or if he's just lost his way, but it hasn't looked good. Both these bullpens have been pretty bad, but I think that these pitchers can go a little bit deep. I'm going to actually go under 8 runs in Kansas City and the White Sox on Tuesday night.
Sounds good. All right. Then we got Pittsburgh versus Milwaukee. Pittsburgh's plus 150, Milwaukee minus 185. Total sitting here at 9. My modeling here, we have the Pirates here in this one. And I'm going to take the Pirates on the run line, the plus 1.5 at minus 130 here in this one.
Okay. Well, I think with Keller and Alexander, I'm really gonna, have to rethink things because I'm gonna give out another over here. Pittsburgh
I got an over here on the
13-5, 13-5 in the over in the last 18 games. Milwaukee, meanwhile, has gone 7-3 to the over in their last 10 games and 6-2 to the over their last 8 games as a favorite. Alexander, they've both been crummy. Keller, 7.36 ERA and a 2.09 WHIP over his last 3 starts, and Alexander, 7.2 ERA and a 1.5 WHIP. And that's almost his numbers for the season as well. So give me over 9. I wrote down 9. I have 9 over 15 here, so probably should have been a premium actually, with almost a full half a run difference for me in my numbers that came out. But I gave it out on the show. That's what I marked down, and when I typed those lines in, I was already committed to giving out the over on the show. So not a premium, as Tony likes to call it, a freemium. And let's go over with Pittsburgh and Milwaukee.
All right. Well, I was kind of worried there, Ramon, because you gave this one out yesterday on our 3 p.m. show. And I was like, weren't they sitting at like no runs in like the 4th inning? And then suddenly what? They scored 12. So good work.
Yep.
Over.
Yep.
Next up, we got Yankees Angels. So this was kind of a fun one to watch yesterday. Yankees here, minus 165, plus 135 for those Angels. Total sitting at 8.5. So for me, I have this one at the Angels on the run line. The plus 1.5 at minus 115. And if my modeling is correct, this one's going to go way under. I have the Yankees sitting at 3.03, those Angels at 2.47. So I have it as a way under. But again, I'm just giving what my modeling says. And, again, I take these with a grain of salt sometimes. But, when I have those real big ones, it's always something I kind of take a look at.
Well, I'm not going to take it with a grain of salt. I'm going to take it with the whole salt rock, because I should have listened. Yesterday there was one of my losses. I had the over, and you saw, Judge go deep. You saw the Angels go deep. I know you watched that game. It was a great game. I don't know if you saw the awesome picture of Ohtani crossing the plate. Him and Trout, they were doing a high five, and the flames were coming up in the background. One of the best baseball photos of the season. And I think I learned my lesson. And having just listened to you give me that analysis on that, I'm gonna go under in this one. The Yankees, whatever's going on with them, they're all about the long ball and nobody gets on base. That's what's happening. Good on Aaron Judge, 50 home runs. He's awesome. Every at bat is much must-watch TV, but there was nobody on base. It's just becoming a big, big problem. The Yankees have gone under in 13 of their last 17 as a favorite, and also 17 of their last 23 overall. Mayers, don't know much about him that I can elaborate on right now in our rapid fire show, but he's made the one start so far, and several relief appearances. So I'm going to trust that Jameson Taillon can have a decent game here. Obviously, Yankees a pretty big favorite. I think I like the under in that one. I don't mind this price on the Yankees, but I'm just worried about the way they're playing. I don't know. I almost want to give out 2 free plays. I think at $1.65, the Yankees still, to me, possess value in this. There's my perceived value, but also a little bit of value too, because they opened as high as minus 200. Now I'm showing books, one offshore book, in fact, the one that kind of mimics what we give out, all the way down to about $1.55 right now. Can I do that? I'm gonna, Mindy. I want to give out the Yankees at that price. At a buck, if you're gonna $1.55,
totally agree. If you can get down at minus 150, I take the Yankees.
Can they turn it? Can they turn it? Look, the Angels are nothing special. We know that they won this game. They've won a couple of games over the last several days. Maybe they're playing a little bit better. Obviously a lot of talk about Ohtani. Is he the MVP on such a crummy team? Of course, I profess that of course he is. Anybody who can pitch so effectively and hit so effectively is the most valuable player. I think even if they go 62 and 100, they'd probably he's probably worthy of the MVP as a player award. Now, if you're one that thinks you've got to be on a winning team to be the MVP, that's fine too. Pick one of your guys, whether it be Aaron Judge or another player. That's fine. So Yankees and under for me here. Under was the play that I was going to give you. Tony had the under in his video last night, so I was kind of like, I like what Tony had to say about the game. I like what he said about Mayers, but I'll give out Yankees and the under. How about that?
All right. Well, I was kind of interested too, because we had kind of discussed this one pretty heavily yesterday, because I had the Yankees first five. That game wound up being tied. They gave up a run there in the bottom of the fourth. Because you had liked, the Angels in that one. I was like, well, we could both win on this. Didn't quite pull that one off, but you had a nice play on that game. Next, we got the Phillies versus Diamondbacks. Phillies sitting at minus 140. Arizona plus 115. Over-under on this one is sitting at 7. For me, the play here on the Diamondbacks here again today at the plus 1.5, minus 150 odds there for them.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I know what I'm going to go with, and it's going to be an under in this one with Nola and Gallen. I mean, obvious we know the type of way Gallen's been pitching of late. I mean, he's the hottest pitcher in the league possibly right now, right? And Arizona coming off that win for us right here on the show, the double underdog. I think they're pretty live again here as well. But Phillies have gone under 6 of their last 8 on the road. Nola, we know he's a good pitcher and he's been hot of late. 0.86 ERA, 2.45 ERA, 0.86 WHIP. But Gallen has just been unbelievable over the last few starts. He's lowered his season ERA now to 2.66. I mean, he's hardly giving up anything. I don't think he's even given up an earned run in the last 3 starts. So I'm going to go under 7.5 in this one. Already juiced to under 20. I don't know if this game will get to a 6 to a 7. I am seeing some 7 overs out there right now. Circa has it at 7 over. So I'll go under. Get that 7.5 if you can. Maybe this is going to 7. I'm going under in Phillies and Arizona.
All right. Next up is this Padres Giants games that we were kind of chatting about here early on. Padres minus 125. Giants here plus 105. Very similar odds as yesterday. Over under on this one is 7.5. So for me, I'm still on the Giants here. I'm going to take the Giants again on the money line. Would take Giants at that plus 1.5 if I could get that at the minus 150, but it's sitting at minus 160 right now.
Okay. I joked around. I sent a text to you, and I talked about the game with the lighting when we mentioned it earlier. But I was surprised actually that the Padres actually were able to hang on. I mean, as a fan, you're just the way this team is performing right now. I just have all my doubts right now about their ability. I mean, maybe I'm listening to too much. There's just so much negative talk out here with the team, and maybe I'm buying into that negative talk a little bit, and that's just the nature of way it is with the Padres. I mean, they just continue to be, even when expectations are high, they continue to be a disappointment. But in this one, Webb, man, is he good at home. I mean, might be the best home pitcher, right, in all of baseball, his splits. So Snell, look, he's a strikeout pitcher. He definitely does a good job, but he has his moments where he's a little bit shaky. Right now, Webb's numbers haven't been that great of late. 4.67 ERA over the last 3 starts. And Snell has been even worse. But the way I watched that game yesterday, even though they ended up piling on, getting to 11 runs, I think the pitchers are going to be effective in this one. I'm going to go under. Webb's got a 3.33 ERA and a 1.19 WHIP over this season, and Snell has gone under in 11 of his 17 starts. So for me, it's going to be under 7.5 in the Padres and the Giants.
All right. So, are you ready for some college football, Ramon?
Yeah, I thought. Look, it's getting late, Mindy. I thought we'd cover both days, but maybe we could get to. We could just do Thursday today.
Yeah.
We ran late yesterday, and I think we do want to keep it under an hour. So I don't know. We can do Friday if you. I know you prepped for it, but maybe just Thursday, and we can save a little bit more football, because then we're gonna, over the last couple of days, really get into that Saturday card. So if you don't mind, but did you want to roll them off? We have the graphics.
Yeah, here we go. So we're gonna do West Virginia, Pittsburgh. All right, so we got Pittsburgh minus 7.5 here in this one. All right, so I'll kind of give you what I have. Like I said, a lot of mine is based off of, predictive scoring on what I got. And I'm just looking here at basically the sides here. So for Pittsburgh, I got Pittsburgh only winning by 3.5. So I'm going to take West Virginia here in this one at the plus 7.5.
Okay, if you're going to give out the side, then of course, what do I got to do? I've got to give out the total. This one opened 55.5. It's dipped all the way now. You see it there, 51.5, and I could see it even going lower. Oh, and of course, poor Pittsburgh. Looks like I better just. I'm embarrassed that I did that. I better fix it, or people are going to make fun of me or laugh. The producer. I'm sorry. The producer is terrible. Here we go.
Whoever that is.
All right, there we go. Pitt minus 7.5, 51.5. Yeah, I think this one could end up going even lower by the time we get to kickoff. So I would think if you were going to play this one, you might want to get in on it now. This one, I'm thinking it's going to end up being going to 49 by kickoff. So look, could have had it earlier, could have had it as high as 55.5. So what I explained is value. The value would be on the over, Mindy, but I just see this one. Big rivalry game. I'm going to go under 51.5, West Virginia and Pittsburgh.
All right. Next up, Central Michigan versus Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State minus 21. Over under this one, 59.5 is what I have. So if I take a look here at Oklahoma State, Central Michigan, I have Oklahoma State winning by 16.45. So that would put me on a Central Michigan play at plus 21.
Go with the chips. This one. Well, for me, I'm going to go under. There's not been much movement in this game. Maybe it's ticked up just a tad. So I would say at this point that is the direction it is heading. So I would say go ahead and wait on this one. In fact, I have 59 there because that's what we had on our site. But I think most of the lines out there are 59.5, even some 60s. And so I think you might even get that value if you wait on this one. For me, the play is going to be under in Central Michigan, Oklahoma State. I'm going to go under. I'll call it 59 right now. I always like to challenge myself. One of the things that people always make fun of the Twitter cappers about, taking the best of the line. I always want to give the worst of the line because I'm a free handicapper. So I'm going to give you the worst of the line. Funny, Mindy, we talked about a game that we both had as, I believe, a premium, wasn't it? Where this past weekend where we ended up losing the play on site. Apologies to anyone who had the losing end of that play, but the Western Kentucky game, right, was the game where I had put in the play. Football, you want to get those plays in early on the site, and by the time I woke up to get ready for the games on Saturday, the total had shot up 9 points.
Yeah.
73. Well, of course, I put a little more on it at that point, and it ended up, beating us. It just sneaked over the number. I think, what did we give it out? 64.5 or 63 and a
I
half?
had it at 63, and I think you had it at like 64 or something like that.
And it landed 65?
Yeah, and it was 65. No, you only lost by a half a point. So it was like what, 64 and a half. And the total went to 65. But when it came out, it was like, game time, it was like 72 and a half, something like that. I mean, like some major line movement. I don't think I've seen any like that in quite some time.
And again, we're just giving rapid fire picks in 1 hour. So look, when we give out the premium picks and you subscribe, you get a full breakdown from both Mindy and I, write up and everything with all that. And of course, you'll always get terrific analysis from us on Tony's shows and things like that. But the thing that we were going to do here is give rapid fire picks, and that's what you're going to see, so we can cram in as many picks as possible. Look, if you want analysis, hey, hit us up. I mean, you know how to find us now, Mindy. Let me just flash those up there before we take care of these last. Did I give my play? Let me give my play for. I'm under. Oh yeah, I did say under. Wait on this one and go under. But before we get the last few games, let me put the handles up there. You can hit us up on social media if you need any information. Or again, hey, I got to admit, Mindy, I'm so thankful for our viewers right now that are joining us live, but I'm disappointed in you guys. No questions, no requests, no. What do you like in this game, or do you like the total? Do you like the side? Who can someone please, before the next 5 minutes of this show, comment for us so we can flash your name and comment on the screen? Mindy and I want to base the show on your participation as well. So, okay, Mindy, enough of that. We got to wrap it up here. We've got a few more games. What you got?
Yeah, so we got Ball State, Tennessee minus 35 and a half, over under 68 and a half. So for me, I see Tennessee winning this one here pretty handily, but I'm not quite sure they're going to get to that 35. Ball State, they've been pretty decent here in the past. I'm going to take Ball State in that big 35.
Well, you're getting the value, right? I mean, look at when the early line that came out not too long ago, because of these type of games. It came out a little bit later, but this one opened 28, and now it's 35. So I can see where you're going there. Look, the balls, do they really blow anybody out these days? Reggie Cobb's not walking through that door. So, man, you look at that one, a 35-point spread and a 68 total. I mean, you're looking at like, what, 50-17 or something like that, 49-17, something in there. So to me, it looks like, I don't trust any of these Power Fives that aren't elite. So I think that Ball State will be able to get some points on the back end. Tennessee might get theirs, but for me, a little bit of value here. The total opened 70. It's now 68. I've got an over. Ball State, Tennessee. Yep, over. Ball State, Tennessee, Mindy.
All right, and then we got, looks like Louisiana Tech versus Missouri. Missouri minus 19 and a half. Over under 60 and a half. So this one here, I like Missouri and this one at the minus 19 and a half. Might be my maybe my only favorite so far.
Oh.
And you're like, oh, maybe not, Mindy, maybe not.
Yeah, and I'm a little torn myself. I mean, when I wrote it down, I have like a bunch of scratches because I might end up. I don't know, Mindy. I don't think I've taken a pass on any, but I'm targeting this game, and I'm not even sure if I'm targeting the side or the total. I do want to give something out here for all of our viewers that have tuned in. I'm just not sure, but okay, I'm going to give one of them out. I'm going to save the total because I believe my totals will always be stronger. So I'm going to lay the points here with Missouri. I said I was going to. I wrote down, I was going to wing it, maybe see what you chose, and then maybe take the other. If you did a side, I was going to take a total. But I think now that I think about it, I like my total better in this game. So I'm going to lay the 19.5 points just because also the line itself opened, I believe. Let me see. Well, it opened 20, but I do see it did dip as low as 18.5, so that's pretty interesting. But I'll lay 19.5 here on the show. That's going to be my free play in that game, Mindy.
All right, sounds good. Then we got Penn State versus Purdue. Penn State minus 3.5. Over under sitting at 53.5. All right, so I just want to say this year, I love Penn State. Penn State has almost the weakest strength of schedule that you can find. So I love Penn State. I would go out there. I did a prop over that 8.5 wins for the season. I'm going to take Penn State here, minus 3.5.
Yeah, and of course, I'll just mention, everyone I think knows, and everybody knows, but Lenny Dawson passed away this week. Purdue, great, certainly, and but for me, Mindy, well, what can I say? It's going to be a total in this one, and it was probably worthy of a premium pick, but I'm a little. I don't want to say late getting some of the plays in, but for me, it's going to be an under here. Open 56.5 all the way down. You said to 53, right? So I think that's worthy of a free play here. For me, it's Penn State and Purdue to go under the total. That's my free play in that one.
Awesome. All right. Looks like our last one on the Thursday schedule. I got New Mexico State here versus Minnesota. Minnesota minus 36.5 here in this one. Over under 52.5.
Oh boy.
I'm not quite sold on this Minnesota team here yet this year. I'm going to take New Mexico State and that my plus 36.5 here in this one.
Yeah, that's like what? Let's see, 26, 18, 44, like 45 to 10 or something like that. That's not going to be a very great game. This total has really dropped, and that's not good news for me because I like the under. I like the under in this game, so it's got to be a free play for me, Mindy. Can't give it out. I mean, the thing was what? I think it opened as high as, I'll check here, 57.5. I've lost 5 points of value.
Yeah.
So it's a free play. I'm going under New Mexico State, Minnesota. I don't know if Minnesota can score. I know New Mexico State is not a very good team, but I don't know if Minnesota,
especially a first game,
get into the 40s right now. So for me, it's going to be under in that game. So
yeah, Minnesota likes to run that clock off too. So that might help that under as well.
All right, Mindy. Well, great job. I hope that's okay that because it's 7 o'clock here and 9 o'clock where you're at, 10 o'clock on the East Coast. 1 hour show. I think that's fine. Hope that's okay with you. That we put a halt to it right there. Join us again tomorrow when we look at the more baseball card. We'll take a look at Friday. Mindy and I will discuss it. Maybe we can get a little bit into the Saturday card as well. I'll have some tennis up later. I believe I do have a couple of plays today, probably in some of those feature matches at the U.S. Open. Mindy, you even watched Serena. I'm sorry I made you watch it, and I told you she'd win, though.
It was kind of exciting to watch, and it's something that I just kind of have in the background most of the time, and so it was interesting seeing Serena evolve through the years, and I like the tribute and the send off that they gave her there at the end, because I can think, like you had said, more than likely they're she's not going to make it past number 2 in the world. So I was pretty touched by that send off that they had for her. I think she's great. A good one.
You know what? I mean, if she does win that match, we're going to have a big sports story on our hands, and all of a sudden it's already going to be a big story tomorrow, but that will only make it even bigger if she were to make some type of run. And Mindy, I've got good news for us, and I'll flash it. I know I don't want to put over the graphic, but Timmy Tushu called me out. I should have known better. WNBA tomorrow. I'll have to give the free plays here. I'm still planning on doing the videos, so I don't know, Mindy, maybe you could take a look at the games and have a free play for me, because if I'm going to give out a free play on I'm gonna do the two videos, and then I might have a premium, so I might not have the ability. I mean, I could come on here. I will recite my free play, but since it's going to match the video, if you don't have one, or if you take a look at the game, you don't see one, don't worry about it. But
No,
maybe
like I said, I break down all the games, even if I don't play, because I have to see if it fits my formula. And so I'll always have a pick. It's just one of those on whether or not I would personally play that pick. But I definitely have leans on every game.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that. Then we'll get out of here. But before we do, Mindy, give us again maybe what you have. We're going to take a look at the homepage over at Tony'sPicks.com and let us know what you got going over there on the site.
Yeah. So as I said, I put up my best bet guaranteed play, and that means if I lose, you get your money back, right? So you could come back and get another pick from me, or maybe you can go tomorrow and get Ramon's WNBA pick, right? Otherwise, I'll have a 3-play up here, or a 3-pack up here, probably within the next hour or so. Again, I kind of spilled the beans. You could probably go back and rewatch the show and kind of figure where I'm going. But I've got first 5 plays. In my other ones, they don't put the lines out the night before, so that's where I'm headed on those others that I passed on. I'm pretty excited for today's play. I think there's a lot of fun games to watch. I'm really interested in that Mariners Tigers game for whatever reason. It's kind of interesting to me.
Well, I know you'll be watching the Angels too.
Of course.
Late, and I'll just bring up my page as well. I'm not going to show you the results over the last couple of nights, but certainly I'm the top units producer over at Tony'sPicks.com right now. A 3-pack for Dana White Contender Series, $30, and I'm 9-2-1 in my last 12 MMA releases. So I do have that going for me. And let me tell you this, Mindy, one of my 3 plays is a pretty big underdog tonight in the Contender Series. So pick that 3-pack up for $30. And also want to mention, I think I can, I hope they don't get mad at me. I mean, I spoke to the GM personally, or texted me, and I just think it's important. I want to tell everyone that Tony's Picks, we're gravitating towards making all of the packages on Tony's Picks guaranteed packages. I think it's safe to say that, right? So we want you to come back. Look, we all know that even when we're hot, we might be only hitting 60, 65, 70. Those are obnoxious numbers, Mindy. You remember when I had the 4-dime run and was
right.
70%, I would often come on the air and say, it's unsustainable, which
right.
any realistic handicapper knows, especially, a lot of plays are totals. So my lines are always going to be, 110, 115, 120s,
right.
One way or the other. So that's key. So, but we want you to stay with us and keep coming back. So if you get a package, even if it's a 3-pack of plays from Mindy and it goes 1 and 2, let me say me. Mindy's not going to go 1. Say like I did yesterday. Had a rough day. You're going to get credits back to your account so you can go get Mindy's picks instead of mine, or get back on with me, stay with me, or one of the other handicappers. So all of our plays very, very soon, not yet, but very, very soon. That's one thing that we are working on to make all of our plays guaranteed, all of our packages guaranteed.
Yeah, the one-off packages.
Just the daily packages. If you're on long term, you're going to win long term and make your money that way. But again, if it's on the 3-day, if it's one play, 2 play, 3 play, 4 play, 5 play, whatever it is, if it does not show a profit, you're going to get credits back to your Tony's account. That's something I'm really excited about, because I want people to eventually cash, even if it's it might be a 1 and 3 day like I had yesterday, but man, I might come back with a 5-0 tonight and in the green. So that's what we want you to experience here with us at Tony's Picks. A lot of people, not interested in a long-term package or something like that. They see a handicapper who's hot. You grab onto one of Mindy's packages because she just went on a 15-5 run, and it didn't work out, hey, you still want to stick with her because just because she was 0-2 or something, still 15-7 a run. So
Right.
that's what we're talking about, and that's what we're working on, and that's going to be very, very soon. Hopefully before the start of the NFL season next week, when we'll really be rapid fire picks. So
Man, I guess. How are we going to get through all these? We have to do like a 4-hour show. Or we're just going to have to really just go and pick, right? Give the folks what they want.
That's right. And again, I hope everyone respects that. Hey, please send your comments. If not now, like Timmy Timmy is the winner tonight. Shout out Timmy Tushu for being the only commenter. We want to hear from you. Comment below. If you do want more analysis, just tell us. But our study says you want the picks. You want more picks. You want more picks on Tony's picks. So that's what we're going to do. Mindy, great job. Great job. We're only gonna get better. I mean, we're still a little clunky, graphic over graphic. I'm trying to produce the show, but you're doing a great job introducing the games, and I think we're having a lot of fun. So appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure. I'm enjoying this time, and it goes by so fast. It's crazy. We thought for sure we'd have problems filling content. That we were totally wrong on that.
Right. That's just it. That's what I thought too. But again, we just covered the whole Major League Baseball card and Thursday's college football action in about 1 hour exactly. We were a few minutes late getting on. I think we went 1:05. So we cut it down by 15
We were like 1:22 yesterday. We were long-winded.
We're charging them by the hour. Hey, appreciate it, Mindy. We'll catch you again tomorrow for Mindy Hahn. I'm Ramon Scott. Thank you for joining us.
Take care.